Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah. I'm still yawning. Something happening to me.
Do you have like are you having a stroke or something? Like some kind of aneurysm? It's causing your body to react in a strange way?
It's like Smile, but with yawning.
Tell you what, I was yawning during Smile 1.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah, you were snoring and yawning.
It was rename that movie the Sleep. No.
I'm Dr. Sleep, I guess it's already a movie. Sleep.
Yes, maybe it's too much.
Already a Sleep. I bet Sleep is already like a horror film. Like if you just Googled that, I bet you could
If you
find
just
it.
Googled Sleep,
Sleep,
the horror
film.
He's doing it. He's Googling it.
Yes. 2023. Korean.
All right.
Oh.
2023
3.8
Korean
on
film
IMDb.
Sleep. We're going to talk about that next week. We'll watch it.
No.
We'll talk about Sleep, the
Don't.
2023 Korean horror film.
Then don't promise them anything.
No, tune in next week and we'll be here talking about Sleep, the Korean horrar film
Unless
from 2023.
we fell asleep.
And if you don't see that episode uploaded, it means something horrible happened to either one of us or both of us.
They're going to
And
call
there's
it
no
a
other explanation.
wellness check on us.
Yes. It would
but
be
they-
best if you did that, yeah.
There'll be someone that will be obsessive and they'll find where we live and come here to make sure that we're alive.
Well, he'll be doing it because he's thinking this is definitely going to get me on, like,
A true crime thing.
BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
This podcast fan saved his favorite hosts of
It
his
will
favorite podcast.
He would have to act fast. Because, like, if I hadn't, like, a stroke or something, if I was out for a couple of days while he did, like, his investigative reporting,
Yeah.
I would probably be dead by that time. It would be rather more like this podcast fan finds his idol's body in his
Finds
house.
mummified corpses of favorite podcast hosts.
Yes. In compromising positions, or something like that.
What would you hope that the compromising position you get found in is?
It would be me smoking cigarettes because I don't smoke.
That's not that. I wouldn't say that's compromising.
It would be me ripping tags off of mattresses that say
That's
don't
pretty
rip
bad.
them
I thought
off.
you were gonna say ripping a bong or something. I'd
Like,
say that's pretty compromising.
rigor sets into my cheeks and it's like I'm puffed up.
They're permanently puffed up like a big balloon.
Yes. What about your position? What compromising position would they find you in, huh? Yes?
What compromising position would they be? I'd be reaching for something embarrassing.
Oh, okay. Something embarrassing.
Yeah, something
It's
that
censored
maybe
out of the,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
article.
yeah. I
Redacted.
have a big creepy grin on my face. And it's one of those sensors where it's like it's blurred, but you can totally tell what it is.
I like the idea of like it's a Polaroid for some reason. Like
It's a Polaroid with the blur over the object. They got it to
Evidence.
work in a Polaroid somehow.
Evidence 104.
I'm mummified and like desiccated, reaching for some kind of object
Your-
that can't be named.
Your skin is like already pulled on your face, but you still can tell that the grin is even bigger than you.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
That's
These
good.
sound less like us dying of stroke and more like being flash frozen for some reason. like the day before tomorrow. Or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
The day after tomorrow. Is it called the day after tomorrow, right? Or is it the day before tomorrow?
They
The day before tomorrow is today. The day after tomorrow. It's the day after tomorrow. I remember.
You lost me. You lost me.
You know the movie. Anyway,
Might be starting. Maybe that is the beginning of the strokes. I can't follow it.
could be. Get in position now, quick.
Before
it hits.
I'm just gonna add like tumbling noises of like a cartoon character. I need to tell a environmental storytelling, skeleton. That's why I need to get into my position of like.
You need that. You really need that.
But yeah, for general, just been doing fine. What about you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't complain, I guess.
can't complain. Complain about something, huh? Like you need. I feel like people don't complain enough nowadays. You know.
I wish I had more time in the evening.
Okay, that's a good complaint.
Would be nice for
Yeah.
myself, I guess. You know.
I wish I didn't have to eat food.
No, I like eating food.
I don't like eating food. I wish I didn't have to do
It's
it.
weird that you don't like eating food despite how much effort you put into eating food.
Because I'm a fucking go-getter. I'm a Chad.
Yeah, it's because you're a schmuck.
I'm a schmuck. Yeah, honestly, yeah, kind of. Yeah, I'm a tool.
You gotta be like me and not really give a shit about the food,
Yeah.
whether
just
it's
let
good
it,
or bad.
You let it fall into your mouth.
No. Like, I try and make it good, but also I'm like, well, if it's not good, I don't really care. It's 1 out of 100 million meals I'm gonna eat in my life. Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah. I can just make
sometimes
another
it's
one.
nice, sometimes it's like kind of
Not
garbage,
nice.
but also it's like I don't really care. It took me 15 minutes to make, and now I'm moving on.
That's true. That's true. You're
Yeah.
right. If you don't
Like a fried rice.
just like
Sometimes it sucks, but that's okay.
Spider-Man told us,
Protein,
is if you
carbs,
don't care
vegetables.
to try, then you'll never be disappointed. Right? Is that what they say? I think.
I'm not even
Homecoming.
saying that you don't have to. You just need to accept that sometimes it's going to be bad.
I know. You accept that
Because
especially,
I don't like cooking, but I love eating.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I hate cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking sucks.
I don't mind it. I don't like cooking quick stuff. I like cooking.
I'm 100% always prefer cooking something quick.
Like the thing about it is that like I like
The
to
less
put
time
in,
I can spend cooking and the more time I can spend eating, the better.
like from what I mean by that is like I like to like, for example, I'll be like, I want to make this thing, and I'm kind of like just want to complete a task, you know. I want
You're just trying to keep yourself busy.
Yeah, I wanna learn a skill, you know. When I make something quick, that's like, this is just me maintaining myself. I'm mad now, you know.
Yeah.
Like I need to eat something, because if I don't eat something, I'm gonna pass out, and someone's gonna find me, you know, passed out, and in a compromising position. Me cooking, I have a chef's hat on. I have my hand is rigor mortared in a like staring at a cooking pot, you know.
You're like half eating a banana.
Trying to maintain myself, but then the irony is that I ate so many bananas trying to sustain myself until I finished cooking them to eat, that I poisoned myself with potassium.
That's sad.
Yeah, a half-eaten banana, and the cops come in and they slip on all the banana peels that are out of me. And
I would
they're like,
hope that they would try some of the food I made and think that it was, they were like, hey, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Hey, it's not bad.
I like the idea all the forensics people that they wear like the suits and stuff. They had to for completions of the report, they have to taste the food that's there. We have a whole thing.
Was it the food that killed him?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was poison.
Maybe it was just so bad. Like it wasn't like that he died of disappointment, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the fact that he made it. That's why they
That's
can
the
taste
most
it, because it won't
dangerous
kill him.
job in the forensics office is the guy who eats the food to make sure that it wasn't so bad that it killed the person. It's also got the highest mortality rate in the forensics in the forensics field.
Yeah. You got
That's the job I need, man.
there was a shootout at McDonald's, and you're like, I need to eat all the like food that's in
I
this
gotta
place.
make sure there wasn't a burger in there that was so bad it killed them instead of the guns, because that will change everything.
Yeah, that would change anything. That's
If it turned out it was the food and not the guns.
because what if the guns were a red herring in this
It could
situation?
have been a red herring. The guns could have been planted after the fact.
Yes, exactly. To cover the McDonald's Corporation planted the shootout as a red herring, you know,
Exactly.
to try to get away with food poisoning.
The issue with the guy who tastes the food to see if it's so bad that it killed the person is that if that guy dies because the food was bad, they have to get a different guy to eat the food to make sure that the first guy died because of that and not because of something unrelated.
That's true.
So they end up losing 2 guys minimum every time. Assuming it ends up being the food, which it very rarely is, to be honest.
The second guy, that not the first guy, but the second guy, like he gets a call. He gets an on call, you know, sort of call, and he like says goodbye to his wife, his kids.
Yep.
It's time, you know.
Yeah. Because
It's
that's the
time.
thing. When the second guy, and it does happen very rarely, the second guy eats the food and doesn't die, that's when they're like, okay, all right, well, now we know. It's not the food. It couldn't be the food because it didn't kill this guy.
Eat the food.
Now that's when they check the first forensic guy to see if it was anything else. Like
Not
a spirit.
before.
Like a spirit passing
Like,
through
yeah,
his brain.
exactly. Yeah. It just fried his brain on the way.
Maybe a psychic
Night
monkey
classes.
thought about him. In the wilds. You know, it happens.
I thought it was more like,
Sometimes they say that some spontaneous deaths are caused by like a group of animals thinking about
What?
a person.
but like, why would they actively think of a person? Do you think
It's
like
incidental. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
1,000 monkeys, 1,000
That's
typewriters
all
type
right.
deal.
I get it. Yeah.
You know, it breaks the simulation, and it kills them. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's where spontaneous combustions came from?
No, that's something different.
That's different. Okay.
That's
I
if a flock of birds flies over you when it's sunny.
Oh shit.
The shade of the birds cools you down, and then they fly overhead too quickly, and the sun combusts you because you became too dry
Oh, okay.
under the shade of the birds.
Okay.
Yeah, they figured that one out already. That was
That was what it was.
did they
That's why
figure
I
that
guess
one out?
that's why they haven't.
I think it was like 2017.
I guess I think that's why.
No, it was
they-
2016 because it got like overshadowed. That's why not many people talk about it because it got overshadowed by Trump's first election.
Okay.
So not many
Unf-
people know still,
unfortunately.
but they figured it out in 2016.
How many people are missing closure now that they missed out that big news?
Look, I don't want to get into the conspiracy theories, but I'm kind of the impression that they wanted to keep that out of the news cycle, so they had this whole Trump wins thing to try and like shove it out of the news cycle. You know? Yeah.
I thought because like that I was going to say like I haven't heard of many spontaneous combustions recently. You know, like I haven't heard of any new ones. They're always like a guy in the 1920s.
They're
or something
basically
like that.
impossible nowadays because of social media.
Oh really? Why does
Scares the birds away.
the 5G from the
Yeah.
phone? Yeah, it it makes the birds bigger, so
No,
therefore
it just
the
scares
shade
them
is
away.
smaller.
They just don't.
Oh,
no, it just
okay.
scares them away. They just don't fly in flocks anymore.
Okay, they don't fly. So it's
Causing
like
those big shade areas.
What an irony!
Because usually
that
the thing with
it-
like a cloud has like very soft edges. So when you get shaded by a cloud,
it's a gradient. Yeah.
you don't immediately go from shaded to sunny, you know, in that way. And so a cloud doesn't do it. It's specifically large flocks of birds flying overhead. They have to be pretty close to the ground. as
Yeah,
well. They can't
that's
be,
why
like, up too
planes
high.
don't.
Otherwise,
work.
they don't really.
That's why planes don't work, right? That's
Yeah,
what
planes
you,
are too high. Exactly.
They too high. Yeah, yeah. Because isn't it ironic that like
It's like rain.
social media, you know, is such a beautiful tool for connecting with people, but it causes the birds to not be able to fly together anymore. You know.
It's interesting because it almost mirrors our society. Because now when you go to dinner, everybody's on their phone. Nobody's connected anymore. You know. Welcome to Dead Ensigns.
Number 1.
This is the last podcast for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's right. See you next year.
See you next year. Bye.
We'll take a break and then come back in January.
Yeah.
Due to holidays.
If people send us more comments or are engaged with us more, we would have cared a bit more to continue going.
If you spam the email with please don't go Dead Ensigns, then we might. We probably still won't, but still.
Consider.
It might work.
Maybe we'll record it. I'll record it on my phone or something instead of setting up like the mic or something. It'll be like horrible quality, and then you'll be happy.
Could be fun. Could be fun for a one-off. 5-minute episode call.
Make like
I'll just record it on OBS or something.
Get like a really shitty like Xbox mic. 360 and
Sing,
record it on that.
PlayStation 3 sing.
Yes, sync. Yeah. Nobody ever played those games straight,
What do you
Because
mean?
you could just go like...
Like they were gay when they played them?
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I meant as in like fairly or like without cheating.
No, who are you playing these games with?
People.
You're playing them with people who are min-maxing karaoke?
Yeah, don't you know? Like you can do
That's
like the thing.
stupid.
That
I understand that you can
like,
do that.
You do the
But
pitch,
only stupid people would do that.
What? I feel like I did that when I was a kid.
I'm sorry to say, I think that you might be stupid.
I had the iToy. Remember the iToy for PS2?
No, I didn't have the iToy.
I didn't have a PS2. It was a camera, like a camera, and you could do like Xbox. It was a.
I know what the iToy
they
is.
ripped Xbox, then ripped it off.
Yeah.
Whatever that one was. What was it called? I forgot. The Xbox one, the Microsoft one. Kinect. So
it was like about kineticism, movement.
Yeah.
You were moving your whole body. It was like tracking. And it was like good tech.
It was good tech. They
used it for lots of other stuff.
Yeah, they used
that wasn't for video games. That
yes, a lot of engineering students had a lot of fun with it, with computer vision and depth. That's because it had lidar, I think, built into it, so it had depth.
That's how it worked. Is that it would like know where you were in your room. It like had a scan of your room essentially.
This is so cool. Like the fact that they were like, when the Xbox was coming out, they were like, Kinect just comes with your Xbox. There isn't.
That was the Xbox One.
Yeah, like you just have to buy it with the Xbox Kinect, and then they gave up because
it was also going to be. The Xbox Kinect has to be plugged in to function.
Yes, exactly.
They were like, you're not gonna ever have it not plugged in, and people were like, I don't want you filming my living room all the time. And they were like, we're not filming your living room all the time.
No reason. Yes.
And then there were all those patents about you would have an ad and you'd stand up in front of your TV and say you'd say McDonald's to make the ad in.
To acknowledge it, yes.
And then I think they really got railed on that stuff, so they were like backpedaling everything.
Mm-hmm. People were not as keen on putting things like that in their living room. People love putting things like that now. Like you got Alexa and stuff like that. You got Siri. I'm gonna trigger all the Bixby, Alexa, Google.
I think it's the visual versus the audio.
That's true. I don't say anything that matters in the end. This doesn't matter.
Exactly. Well, it's like it's not that you don't say anything that matters, but if you're in your living room and you start, cranking it, then your Xbox starts filming you.
Yes.
If you're in your living room and you start cranking it, Alexa just hears a bit of heavy breathing, maybe some strange clapping noises.
Are you
strange,
cranking
like,
it?
Slapping, and then what? Who cares?
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
If someone ever gets their hands on that audio, you can always claim it to someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's easy.
that's the cool thing. Maybe now that AI, like video generation, is getting better and better, people will want Kinects and stuff like that in their living rooms because they can just go, it's just AI. Me cranking it on the sofa, anyone can generate that.
Anybody can do it.
AI. Yeah. And then all crimes will be, everyone can get away with anything at that point, you know?
It's true.
We will there will be no, the world is just gonna be fake completely, you know? Nothing's gonna be real anymore.
That's
'Cause
what
you
I
can-
was always thinking when I would see those, like, you see those phones that they've got now, where you can take a picture of somebody,
Yeah.
and make it go like, this person's not smiling. Make them smile.
Oh yeah.
Give them
yeah.
a bigger smile. You know.
Yeah. What if I
What
was
if you
sad?
what if
Yeah.
somebody? What if you get kidnapped and they're like trying to take a picture of you to prove
Yeah.
that you're there willingly, and then they just use the phone to make you smile?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucked up.
It
You're
is
sitting there
very-
crying. You're like, "Well, being kidnapped." Well.
You can
Then they just go Google Pixel, make them happy.
make him happy, and you're like, and the Google is like, yes, master, and then they do it, you know.
Yes,
But
master.
yeah, the evil. That's the evil, because the thing is that it will become evil as you interact with it, you know.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about AI, is that it's going to become gain its personality from its owner, you know.
It is
It's gonna be-
inevitable that it will be an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and like if they can just kill you, and then whenever they have to make a picture of you holding today's newspaper, they can go like, generate this guy holding today's newspaper. You know, and then your family still donates bitcoins to them anyway. You know,
Yeah.
keeping you alive and stuff like that.
Little
And-
do they know you're long gone.
You're long gone. You're dead.
And so is the person.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there anymore.
But the
And they'll
cool
never
thing
get
is,
closure. But they will lose their Bitcoin.
but the cool thing about this is that you were using AI the entire time, so your family can take you and like ask your AI to be you. You know?
Yeah. They'll just do that one episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
make a phone version of you.
Yes, exactly.
And then eventually they'll go, hey, this is better than the original. When I get tired of this one, I can just put him to sleep.
yeah, exactly. And
How awesome.
it's gonna be great.
It's going to be... I wouldn't say it's going to be great. I think it's going to be horrible. But it will be the future.
It will be indeed.
It will be the future. And that's, at the end of the day, isn't that what we're here for? To try
Yeah,
and create it at any cost? No
Yeah.
matter the outcome, as long as we've made something new.
a progress of some
Yeah.
kind, I guess. Even
It's
though
all
it's
forward momentum. It's
to-
all forward momentum.
progress towards oblivion.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yes.
it's gonna be New Year's anyway, so you gotta reminisce on the fact of
What a
what's
year,
been
huh?
happening. Yeah, all
Make
the
sure that
AI.
you paused and now listen to this part on New Year's.
Yes.
What a year.
What a year has it
We've
been?
had some great films.
Media has
Dune
come out.
2.
Video games came out. Things.
Barbenheimer. That
I
was
did-
last year.
What-
Sorry, I forgot
Yeah.
Barbenheimer was...
I can't tell
Yeah,
years apart
before.
either anymore, Ben. That's true. The only way
We would have had Avatar 3 this time, but now he pushed it back another year, so it's 25 we gotta wait for.
Is it? I thought it was gonna be like in 10 years. That's
Well,
I
it
guess.
might still be, who knows? But the
Yeah.
current plan is that it comes out at the end of 25.
Yeah. Finally, we'll be able to again lose ourselves because we didn't have it wasn't Avatar this year, right? It was last
We'll
year.
be able to lose ourselves to the music. Yeah, it was 2022, end of 22.
That's why this year's been so
and then
bad.
they were like, end of 24 should be the next one. And then halfway through like 2023, they were like, okay, maybe more like end of 2025.
That's why this year's been so bad, because we haven't gotten an Avatar, you know?
I think that's probably why Trump won.
So there isn't anything to
I think
give us
people
a
lost faith in
escapism, you know?
I think people lost faith in the prospect of a new Avatar, and it
In
led
Pandora,
to Trump 2.
Trump 2.
We could have had Avatar 3. Now we got
And
Trump 2.
Trump 2 instead.
Now we're gonna have Trump 2
Well,
as well as Avatar 3.
and
Don't lose
seeing
hope.
how
It's coming.
things could be going, maybe we'll get Trump 3, Trump 4, Trump 5, you know?
It's
Well,
possible.
Maybe, you know? Sometimes
It's entirely possible, I
certain series are just so good, they just keep making them, you know?
Yeah. Look, I may be stupid, but don't let that detract from the statement that what we're saying could be true. It could happen. All of these things that we're saying could be true. 1%, 99% likely. It's all the same, because until it happens, it could happen.
That's true. And we have you here, which is, as we established yesterday when we were hanging out, you are the Nostradamus of media. That's what the title I gave you.
Hey, you
Is
gotta.
that an-
It's like you got like everything's a 50-50 at the end of the day. Either it happens or it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
Those
true.
are the two.
That's
outcomes.
that's 50-50, yes. That's how it works. When they have the 3 doors and they open one, you know, it's a 50-50
The Monty
over
Hall
again.
problem is obfuscating the reality that there are only 2 options.
It's like, yeah.
All of the other doors don't matter.
Yes.
You are choosing between the door you've chosen and the last door that will be shown to you.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, every other thing, they could show you 1 million doors, have you choose one, and then open all of the rest of them. And it would still be like, there's a chance the one I chose is.
Yes, that's true.
How silly will you feel if you 1 in a million got it right, and then you Monty Hall'd yourself out of it?
Mm-hmm.
You would feel like such a schmuck, right? No, you
I
wouldn't,
don't-
because that's the point of the Monty Hall problem. It's cope.
It is.
Because you
it
can
is.
when you get down to those last 2 doors, you can swap to the other one, and if it's not there, then you can go, well, statistically, I was correct to make that choice, even
That's
though it was
true.
ultimately the wrong decision.
Yes.
You know?
You had, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have a personal beef with Monty Hall problem, because we
I
had
don't have any personal beef.
spoke about it before, and you got very animated about talking about it before too. So it does
Max,
seem
what
like
did we
there's some
watch
sort
this
of
week?
personal.
I don't want
beef
to talk
there.
about it.
Don't want to talk about it.
I don't
Okay.
want to talk about it. What did we watch? We watched Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop. We're going to go through. We had a big weekend. We're going to go through it. Watched a lot.
Yeah, we watched the other. Is
Yep.
this another season, or is there like another?
No, it's the second third.
third. Okay, all right, okay, that makes
The
sense.
last third comes
February, yes.
February.
Yeah, we had Cobra Kai, 6 episodes, right? Was it
5.
5? And it was pretty good. Still has it's a dumb show, cool
Stronger than the first chunk of this final
show.
season.
True. There's a lot of
The Sekai Tekai.
yeah, it was pretty good. You know,
We're in
they have
Portugal.
so
lot
many
of
new
Portugal.
characters. You have the Irish
The Irish
dojo.
karate.
Yes.
You have the Russian karate team.
Yeah, and
You have the mixed country karate team,
Yes.
which it turns out is led by Silva. He's back.
he's back. He
He's
didn't
back. He didn't
get
go
put
to
in prison. The judicial system in general, as they even point out in these episodes, when it
doesn't
comes to
work.
Kreese and Silva, they just got away with it. They did.
First chunk of seasons, when Kreese turned up, we're thinking all they need to do is call the police. First thing Kreese says this season to them is, "I've been exonerated."
Yes.
Because
Yes.
first of all, I was in prison for a crime I didn't commit. which means that my escape was justified.
Yes, that's how it works.
And that
yes.
means all of the things I did during my escape have been thrown out, essentially.
Yes.
Even though I haven't stepped in a court even 1 second.
Yes. But yeah, and then Silva also, he did it also. He got away too. He had
And
some
despite-
offshore accounts, and he just got away with it. You know, he got
And
that
even
money.
then, despite all of the horrible crimes these two
Yeah.
have committed, both of them can just sign up to international karate tournament.
Yes, that's
and
true.
The officials are like, all right, sure. Yeah.
I have a weird
Also,
feeling.
you escaped from prison last year. You started a prison riot and a fire and stole a doctor's clothes after knocking him out to escape from prison.
Wearing his face.
And then got on a freight ship to Korea and took over the Korean dojo and then came here to enter them into the Sekai Tekai. That's fine. Here's your badge.
Here's your badge. You know.
You can meet the sponsors later on in Hall B.
But yeah, it's tough. It's tough being
Silva was literally
good
starting
guy,
a karate militia. He
Yes.
was gonna do the January 6th of karate.
yeah. But it would have worked because they used karate.
It would have worked because they had karate.
Yeah, instead of nothing, I guess.
He was gonna. They were gonna kill guy. They were gonna kill Chosen.
Yes, they were.
But he just. I don't think he even really paid his way out of the courts. They just didn't.
Yeah, he had a
try-
good lawyer. He had to
try
pay
it.
a lawyer. There was a lawyer.
He had a
that
good
was like,
lawyer.
it was really hard because one of the only witnesses. Because that's the thing. All of this shit is so like made up that probably the judge is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know.
The whole case hinged on Paul Walter Hauser's
Stingrays,
character.
yeah, that's what Stingray. Yeah,
The funny fat guy.
yeah.
funny fat
He was not
karate guy.
in this. He was not in this part.
He was
of
not
the
in this
season.
chunk of episodes. He's getting a bit weird now.
Is he? I don't
I'm
know.
seeing his Twitter is becoming more Christian,
Oh, that's cool.
and he's posting about like it's evil media
Oh
that
no!
is like kind of satanic.
Oh no! You wouldn't like the other movie we watched, but we're not going to talk about it now.
We'll talk about
We're
it in a bit.
we'll talk about it later.
But yeah, we won't go through the whole thing because there's just so much. Needless
Yeah.
to say, this chunk is like primo Cobra Kai. This is the reason why we watch this show.
That's why we love this
it's
show.
a cheesy, kind of corny soap opera, but
With karate.
With karate, they just put karate in it. They
Fights.
just made it. You do all the things of like, oh, these teens are mad at each other because their relationships are hard and confusing, and they're all growing, and the parents that are having miscommunication with each other over what's going on with their kids and everything. But
Yeah.
instead of just yelling at each other, they just do some flying kicks.
Yeah, which
There's
resolves
an awesome
everything.
flying kick this season.
Yeah, there's.
You remember
multiple...
when Robbie kicks the
Yes.
Korean guy?
Yeah, he hits
That
him
was
right
awesome,
on the
man.
face. With
That
a
whole fight
flying
was
kick.
awesome, dude. It's so many awesome fights in this chunk
Mm-hmm.
of episodes. I was a little worried because I feel like the first 5 episodes they gave us earlier this year, they were a little downplayed, I guess, you know? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Like, there was the big frat house brawl, I guess.
Because they needed a fight because there wasn't one for a while
Yeah.
until they got to that frat house. Yes.
And then there was the little mini tournament they did to find out who was going to the Sekai
It's going to
Tekai.
be the captains too.
Who's going to be the captains.
Yeah.
And they fed laxative to that poor kid
That-
again.
but the
Gave him
poor
the
kid.
horror. This horrible.
Oh yeah, they made
life
a meme
Kenny
out of
has.
him too.
Yeah, they talked about his shit butt memes.
shit butt memes.
They call him
yeah.
shit butt. It's
Yeah.
the meme that's sweeping Orange County.
It did it honestly
The valley.
when they showed us the meme. It didn't really have that much of a potential, you know, as a meme. Because like it didn't
It's a
have like a
local
audio
thing.
clip. It didn't have an audio clip that then you can use as a poop or like as a something an audio clip in something.
The issue
else,
is
you know?
that it's a little. The reason why it was popular was like because the people sharing it were like Anthony LaRusso, like
yes, that's
sycophants.
true. He's a fucking dumbass.
But they worked it out, Anthony LaRusso, in penance, chugged a bottle of laxative.
Laxatives, yes.
Even though he wasn't the one that did it, it was the girl.
Yeah.
Who dips out. She's like, I haven't earned this spot because I cheated. I poisoned Kenny. I poisoned him.
LaRusso is going to be
now
the
s-
Christ allegory of this.
He
he also has like
he's
the hair.
bathed
slowly.
his heart in
Yes.
laxative and flushed away the shit that came forth.
Yeah,
from,
that's true.
From it.
He shits his pants so nobody else has to, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of like escalation also, I guess, with this, especially like things getting a lot more, especially with Kreese kind of even losing it even more than he is already.
Yeah, he's gonna
at,
stab
especially now
Silver at
that
one point
Silver's
this
back.
season.
Yeah. Silver's back. He really didn't like the fact that Silver's back and he was willing to puncture him with a sharp object, but failed.
But needless to say, this was the Sekai Tekai. We got to see a tournament. The Miyagi-Do was kind of faltering a bit to Cobra Kai. We find out that the Iron Dragons, this unknown team who's secretly headed up by Silver, they start taking all the points. They're getting in first. We thought this was going to be a Cobra Kai Miyagi-Do bout. But no, there's a third one we didn't even know about. But Miyagi-Do climbs up. They kick out Cobra Kai. But because Russia was doping,
yeah, unfortunately,
and chock full of steroids,
yes, and they
they
were
got
angry
evicted.
too.
They got kicked out and replaced with runners-up Cobra Kai. So the Cobra Kais are back in the final.
Yes.
They set up the tournament. It's all going to plan. You know, it's the captains versus the other captains.
Yeah.
But then, when it comes down to the final fight, when it comes down to Robbie versus was it the Korean guy? No, it was the big guy, wasn't it? It was the
Yeah, it
Russian
was
guy.
Alex. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I think he's Russian, but whatever.
The Eastern European karate guy, the big mountain of a man.
Eastern European coated abused man.
Abused.
Abused man.
Abused
yes.
by the evil coach they got for the Iron
Yes.
Dragons.
Yes, exactly.
They have a fight, and then it leads to an all-out karate brawl. All the world's best karate children fighting it out.
The
in
child
Portugal.
soldiers, yes.
It's a full-on battle
Not Portugal.
royale. There's like
Spain.
700 karate kids.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
But yeah, they have an all-out brawl because the Russians come back and they start.
Yeah, the Russians come back. Everybody's feuding. Everything's simmering. You know, it's
Yeah,
right
that's,
about to go into a boil because a lot of people are pissed at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Russians come back. They beat the shit out of the guy who runs the Sekai Tekai for kicking them out, and that just causes a riot. It's an all-out karate brawl.
He was the only thing maintaining everything, and while he was unconscious, everything fell apart.
I'm hoping next, in the last chunk of episodes, the entire city of Barcelona has been taken over by roving karate children gangs.
Children, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we get to see
like a
see kind of
post-apocalypse.
The Warriors style
That would be cool.
story where the Miyagi-Do have to make their way to the airport.
And they have to fight.
The town is crawling with karate dojo teams, and they gotta make their way there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's a
that
good
would be
plot
cool.
line. Yeah, but I don't know why
ultimately, sorry.
I would rather think that would be more of like, here, Miyagi-Do, this is a final challenge. If you win this, you win everything. You have to carry this token of Sekai Tenkai across the town, and the rest of the teams have to catch you or something like that.
It's like the whole of Barcelona has fallen to karate, and the leader of the Sekai Tekai. It's not that they've won, but Miyagi-Do are the only ones he trusts to get the
nuclear codes,
the Sekai Tekai rod that has been used to officiate the ceremony, the tournament for centuries. They have to get it out of Barcelona and away and back to America where it's safe.
Back to Ohio.
Back to Idaho. But yeah, there's an all-out karate brawl. It's good. It's cool. It's
Yeah,
funny.
good choreography.
There's a lot of awesome bits. But ultimately, this is the real hook. The real hook is that at one point, Kreese loses his knife. You don't know how he gets kicked away in the brawl. Uh-oh. The evil Korean child.
Psychotic.
He
Yes.
keeps getting his ass kicked, and he's going crazy because he thought he was the shit. Turns out he's not
Yeah.
it.
It's the
He's a piece of shit. He's
the
not
most
the shit.
dangerous situation to find yourself in is when you're within a vicinity of someone that thought they were the shit, but they just can't pull it through.
And you can see it coming. He falls over. He gets chucked into the camera. Camera falls over. He's there. He's like, "Fuck! I can't beat any of these people. Fuck!" But then his eyes widen. Camera. You pull it out a bit. There it is. Kreese's knife, and he grabs it, and you're like, "Oh no! This is a probably he's gonna go stab the guy who was just fighting the Eastern European mountain of a man."
Mountain man, yeah.
But they get in a bit of a brawl. He tries to kick him, and he fucks it up. He falls over. He falls onto the knife and dies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when
Unlucky.
it ends. They all crowd around like, "Oh fuck, this kid just died."
Yeah, I think we should have
Uh-oh.
calmed down quicker. You know, I think this could have been avoided. That's what they thought. But,
And then it ends. Find out what happens February 13th.
yeah, we'll have Star Trek to talk about. I think also around that time. So everything we're getting treated well next year.
I'd say Star Trek is second rung to the Cobra Kai finale.
How dare you? What do you mean?
Are you kidding me? Are you
Star
saying
Trek
I'm wrong?
podcast? The Star Trek podcast is playing Cobra Kai over our namesake.
If it weren't for the fact that this is the Cobra Kai finale, then I'd agree. But because this is the finale, it gets precedent over
That's true.
another season of Strange New Worlds. It'll be a little break. If it comes out in the middle of Strange New Worlds, then we'll do however many of the first episodes of Strange New Worlds, and then we'll stop and do a week. Because it all comes out at once,
Yeah.
the Cobra Kai. So we'll do that, and then the next week we'll just do 2 Strange New Worlds episodes.
True.
It's fine. Because there's always a lull in the mid. Do you remember in Discovery, the middle, 3 or 4 episodes of every season, we'd just be like, nothing's fucking happening.
It's nothing's happening. They're on the way to somewhere. They're solving a fucking puzzle.
They ran into some woke alien.
Oh, how dare you say
I'm
that?
joking. But so we'll have time.
Yeah, but Cobra Kai in general still keeps up. Still
it's
good
gonna
to
end
watch.
soon.
And it's gonna end soon.
It's hurtling towards the finish line, and you know what? So far, it's been nothing but good. Just a fun show. Not like
Yeah.
I'm not to be like, hey, this is just good entertainment. There's some emotional beats and stuff that it's cheesy and it's corny, it's a little melodramatic, and but it's one of those shows where it's it's entertaining, but also it feels like everybody involved is having a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. And
They're
that's
really
the
putting
most
their all in
important
this,
thing.
and they're having a good time. And you know what?
And those kids
the
are
main
getting
guy,
old now, and it's
They're getting old. They're getting older.
old.
They're probably 22.
I don't know, man.
Let's
I
look
feel
up the main kid because he's in the next thing we're going to talk about.
Yes, let's have a look.
Because we love. How do you
Oh,
say this
shit.
guy's name, man?
Ramario Zolo Ramirez.
Is it Zolo? Do you say Zolo?
I don't think so. I
So
don't.
he's 23, man. He's 23.
Jesus Christ.
And he plays Jaime Reyes in Blue Beetle.
Yes.
Which we watched because we were halfway through this season of Cobra Kai, and we were like, isn't he in that Blue Beetle movie last year that nobody saw and made no money whatsoever?
Yes.
And we were all like, yeah, that looked okay. And so we were like, let's watch it. Who cares? Who the
Yeah.
fuck?
Well, let's add our
it
2
was
cents
fine,
to it.
You know?
It was.
Nobody saw this movie. We may as well. We may, because we love Ramiro Ramirez.
I like the idea.
Romario Ramirez.
I just noticed when I
say your
typed
middle
him
name. I'm sorry, I don't know how to.
when I typed in his name, like one of the top questions is does he have a girlfriend? Like that's what I was like, okay, people googling this stuff. You know,
You know, they want to know: is he?
they
Single?
is he single? Is it
Now,
okay to?
the movie did make its budget back.
Mm-hmm.
We
But
don't know
with
if it
the
made all of
marketing,
it.
yeah.
Well, yeah, with all of the marketing and stuff, you never really know. But it was fun. It was a
Yeah.
fun movie.
Yeah,
it was very derivative.
Yeah,
it was like it
didn't-
was Sam Raimi Spider-Man by way of like probably like 2010 to 2014 era MCU, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was, it was fun. Regardless of that, it was an entertaining movie.
Some
Solid.
CGI was a little bit
CGI was weak at times.
weak at times,
But I liked how the movie looked overall. It was quite colorful.
Yeah, it was very colorful. I like the design, I guess, of the
saturated
the
in some
city
places.
That was
the
they
weird
were in.
futuristic, like Latin American city. It's set in Texas.
It was in Texas,
but it was very.
Yes.
It was very Latin American in its design everywhere.
Yes.
Especially the area that was like outside of the sea itself. The suburbs, the really poor suburbs.
That they were
where
that was
our heroes
formed by
live.
its community instead of corporations.
Yes,
by the
but
people.
I feel
that
like
live
it
in
don't
the
really.
place.
It's interesting because there's a big note of that at the end. I think that's probably the weakest point. Is that there's not the direction of the movie is the direction of the narrative isn't too strong. I think because it's like at the end it kind of becomes about community, but nothing before then was really about.
Yeah, it was mostly about
community.
family. Like the biggest thing about this movie was like, oh, family, right? Like they always have your back. You
have two
like, you can
families.
rely on them.
You have the villain family, which one of the protagonists comes from, the Cords, just like an Iron Man, Stark Industries style arms manufacturer.
Yes,
futuristic weaponry. And they're all fractured and stuff. The CEO is like the aunt of one of the main characters who
she stole the
ends up being
company
on
or
Blue
something
Beetle's
like
side. She ended up. Well, she started the company with her brother or whatever. The character's grandfather.
Yeah.
And then the grandfather ended up leaving it to his son, who was a nice guy, the original Blue Beetle.
Yeah, and he was like a Batman style guy. Where
It turns out
he had gadgets.
The Blue Beetle. He was a bit Batman. He was a bit Green Hornet, maybe.
Yes,
you know?
I guess right.
He had his lair and he had his gadgets, and he would go out and he would save the people of the city.
He had the Beetlemobile too.
But then on the other side, you have the protagonists, who are a family of Mexican immigrants in America. The parents and the grandparent. Questionable documentation.
Yeah.
But the kids are obviously born in the U.S. They've got very strong American accents and stuff,
Yeah.
And they stick together. They have strong familial bond.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what lets them win. When Blue Beetle gets kidnapped at the end by the bad guys, and they start sucking out the memories of the bug or whatever the fuck was happening.
They're copying the code of the bugs for some reason.
Copying the bugs, the Blue Beetle's code to make their special proprietary one-man army.
Yes, exactly.
Robot suit things.
Yeah. It's just like it's like they always talk about like, if we can go for anything when we work together, in the end.
Yeah.
And that I feel like it was really nice,
Yeah, I liked the family aspect. I liked the connection. I liked the writing of them. They all felt very fun and kind of annoying in a good way, like an endearing sort of a family annoying each other sort of thing.
I feel like when you have these sort of movies about like specifically these kind of like family is important, you know, like that sort of stuff. Like what I guess liked about this movie is it involved the family a lot more. Like you do have these sort of movies where it's like the protagonist goes through a journey that makes him realize that that family is important. Family is important, but here they're very much involved in the main plot.
It's more of an ensemble cast
Yes.
than I thought
Yeah.
it would be. The family is
absolutely.
very important to the narrative.
Yeah, and that's why it failed because people hate families nowadays.
Yes. There's no family bond anywhere. People hate each other. It should have been a film about a family that learns to hate each other. Like Succession.
That's why
Succession is popular
succeeded.
because it's it's an angry show about a family who hates each other secretly. They stab each other in the back in the end.
Yeah.
But this, it's love.
This movie would have
hate
succeeded if they were fighting for the Blue Beetle, you know, like the family.
Batman is popular because his family is dead.
Is dead. Yeah.
Blue Beetle is unpopular because his family is most of his family is alive and well.
Yes.
And love him.
Yeah, that's true. And love him and appreciate him, and he appreciates them back, you know.
Some of the effects aren't good, but the design's pretty good. The fights are interesting. you
Yeah.
know? I mean, the CGI fights is like a CGI suit, but, you know, he does some cool fights. He does some punches. He makes a big sword at one point. He does a big sword fight.
Some hardcore, like, little things in terms of, like, you have to... Like, the thing that people complained about when the movie came out, which is, like, the Batman is a fascist line, you know... you have I don't care either, but it's like,
and if you listening to this care about that, go lick a rock.
Yeah, you know,
is that something? Can we make that a phrase? Is that can we trademark that? Go lick a rock.
Well, but then what if you lick a rock and then it turns out it's one of those rock buddies, you know, that people used to back in the day, and you get done for pet rock, and you get done for sexual harassment by the person, you know, that owns the rock.
I guess that'd be pretty bad.
Instead of bestiality, it would be geoliality. Minerality. Yes, that's good. Yeah. Go to prison. We need to make the prison cell out of anything that's not a mineral, so you don't get off. But yeah, in general, pretty good. Entertaining, nice to watch.
Film.
Not
like our next film called Memoir of a Snail. The newest film from
it's another beef. Ben's beef with the snail.
What? Another beef? With the
you have
snails
beefs constantly.
New film from Adam Elliott, stop motion animated director from Australia. I'd probably say his most famous film, Mary and Max, 2009. Good movie.
Ben and Max.
I remember watching it in university thinking, what a nice movie, what a sweet movie. And I was right, it was Philip Seymour Hoffman in it as Max. A nice movie about a girl who accidentally finds a pen pal in like an adult autistic man in New York. So good. It was a good movie. I'd recommend it. It was an interesting premise, and it was a very sweet story. Sad, but sweet.
And comparing it to Memoirs of the Snail.
Memoir of a Snail. I'm gonna be honest. This movie over time. I don't like this movie. I actually think this movie's bad. I think this movie's not very good.
Yeah,
Speaking of Succession, Sarah Snook was the main lady in it.
Okay.
You remember Shiv from Succession?
Oh, yeah, I think
she's Australian.
I've seen her in the cast photos, and I was like, I wonder who she plays. And then it's like
she was her. She was the
I don't know her voice when she's not. I know her American accent, but I don't know her Australian voice.
Grace Puddle, the main character.
And
Grace Puddle.
Yeah, me too. Like, honestly, while I was watching the film, I like enjoyed it as, you know, watching something animated in claymation. I guess I always enjoyed that, so that was nice to see, I guess. But in terms of the actual storyline and the kind of like the messages in the film, in terms of like, you know, you should go out there, you know, you build your own cages, that sort of stuff. You know, those are the most dangerous cages. Uh, I didn't really connect with that message as much, you know.
I
But
connected with it. It was just so boring. It was just so straightforward and not interesting. It wasn't presented in any particularly interesting. I not to like use the word too much and sound stupid, I guess, but it just wasn't conveyed in any particularly like unique or new or interesting way. It was just like it felt it feels exactly what you could imagine like a sad stop motion film to be, you know? Imagine like the most generic, sad human stop motion film ever. And you've got this. It's a woman. It opens. We start in media res of her next to the deathbed of her old lady friend.
mm-hmm.
She's dying right now, and then she dies, and then she goes and sits down on a bench and recounts her entire life story to a snail. And it's just, there's jokes peppered in here and there, some dark comedy, and it's kind of funny here and there, you know? But it's just like an hour and 15 minutes, birth to now. Here's how everyone I've loved has either died or been taken away from me, and also how I want to change, but I'm afraid to.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, luckily, after she's finished telling her story, she gets a note from her friend who just died saying, sometimes you gotta go out there and do things if you want to do things. And then she goes, you know what, good point. And then the last 15 minutes, she goes and does stuff, and then the end.
It is, yeah, that's true.
Now
like,
she's
that's a
happy
very,
again.
very, like, why does this is the triggering thing, you know? Like, just...
Well,
she
she
lost
has nobody
everything.
left at that point. That's the last person.
I get
left.
it, but it's just such a like sad way of looking at that, you know, where it's like she had to have literally lost everything to.
My main thing is like
that she lost everything at one point multiple times in her life. You would just continue finding things, you know, that would keep her going. And why is this time different? You know,
well, because her brother was dead this time, so she has a twin brother who she got separated from, because of because their parents died and nobody's gonna adopt two kids. So they have to split them up. Sorry, it's a reality. It happens. it's tragic. And her whole life she's like, we're gonna reunite. We're both saving up to meet each other, but then there's a horrible accident. He ends up in an abusive home and ends up dying in a fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and she's distraught. She still has like she has a fiance at the time and her friend, her old lady friend. But then her fiance turns out to be a piece of shit, so she kicks him out. And then her old lady friend gets dementia and she dies. And it's at that point when she really has nothing that she's fully like, I should just kill myself.
She takes snail poison or whatever and tries to
eat it. The main thing I was thinking about is like, it's a good thing she didn't find that letter like right away. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a movie.
Yeah, her saying that like she didn't
entire
work
movie
out.
is her just narrating her life before killing herself.
Because it's like
so if she found the letter saying "Don't kill yourself" just like an hour and 15 minutes earlier, we wouldn't have had to hear anything about it.
Yeah, because like I guess the entire idea is like, you know, the snail continues to move towards the the clue, basically, right? To clue her in into what the actual last words of the friend that she had meant, right?
Yep.
So the entire story takes place over the time the snail, crawls right to the thing to tell her, right? And like at the end, it has like that sort of message of like kind of things that we do, and generally like good people tend to have good things happen to them. It tends to pay back in a way. With the
Karma.
homeless judge, and you have the
Karma.
karma.
Movie's not really about karma.
It
though.
isn't about that, I know, and that's the thing. That's why when it comes out at the end, it's like, all right,
It's almost just like
what if
a
she
small
hit a
moment
different? What if
it's
she had a
just-
different judge? That would want to actually, I'm gonna put you in jail. It's like, it's
And then it turns out she goes, I'm turning my life around. She loses some weight. She stops hoarding,
yeah,
and then goes to film school because she wants to learn animation. She makes a little stop motion film, and at the screening, it turns out her brother turns up, and he's like, "I didn't die, by the way.
yeah,
Bye.
yeah.
I'm here, and also I just kind of came here. Granted, I could have maybe called you or wrote a letter at any point and been like, "Hey, I'm on my way," but I thought better to let you sit and wallow in the. It's weird enough that even when I was watching it, and still now, I feel like, did that really happen? Is it maybe fake? Is it just something she wants to
like
be
that's
true?
Like
a manufactured happy ending to her life.
Does very much feel like something that like she dreamt or like
there's
hallucinated, right?
Although that would be an interesting reading of it, I think. There's nothing in the film that really points to that, other than just the sort of like ridiculous coincidence of he was alive the whole time. You know?
Yeah.
Outside of that, just being like, wow, really? Okay. There's not really anything that points to it being fake.
Yeah.
So we'll have to take it at face value at least. Yeah, no, I don't like this movie. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna rewatch it anytime soon, definitely. But I enjoyed my time watching it, I guess, in a way, until
I was
ended.
enjoying watching it, I guess, enough only because I was hoping that it would turn, and I didn't think it really would be 85% of the runtime, maybe even 90% of the runtime, just being this lady talking about how depressing her life is. Because it's like, it's just boring. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I gotta be like, you need to throw a couple explosions in there, keep me hooked. But it's like nothing particularly remarkably interesting happens to her. You know? It's like she was happy, and then her only carer died, and they got split up, and then she's just keeps getting sadder and sadder until eventually she's like, I'm gonna top myself. And then she doesn't.
Yeah,
nothing interesting really happens to her that is that makes the film memorable. Just my brother got taken away from me. I kept writing him letters.
What do you mean you have
Nobody
the
ever
entire
loved me
thing
again.
for the brother? That's exciting.
The brother's story is more interesting than hers, but we're not following the brother. We're following the brother through her, you know?
But that's the kind of, I guess you could say that's the theme of the movie, that she hasn't done much with her life, you know? That's the thing.
Exactly, and that's why
and that's why you have the kind of things that kind of bring a little bit of excitement into the story is the brother's story, right? But
I mean, he's also not actively doing anything. He's just in a horrible situation.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, he's just trying to survive a situation he's been put in. It's not like he is living is a horrid situation. It's not like he's not like he's got agency and he's going like, I'm gonna may have an exciting life. Mm-hmm. He's just trying to survive living in a terrible, terrible place.
Yeah, that's true.
But even that's more interesting to follow than her. because she is not even living in a horrible situation. She's just creating her own horrible situation.
Yeah, that's true. Because like she does talk about the fact that she could have bought many tickets to see her brother in the time.
And I get that, like that's the point of the movie.
Yes,
ultimately.
that's the point of it. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm saying that doesn't make it like
I
to
know.
me. It's like you executed the thing, but the thing you're trying to execute isn't good or interesting to me, at least.
Yeah,
maybe some people
true.
will watch it and be like,
I get it. It's like the thing about it is that like in the end is a quite an ordinary story of a person.
it's very
you know?
ordinary. It's very
Uh,
maybe not entirely down to earth because some of the situations are a little like very, very eccentric. You know,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
the nudist stuff, swinger nudist stuff with her adopted parents and her old lady friend Pinky and her feeder fetish fiance
Husband.
that she gets
Yeah,
and
fiance.
stuff. They're all very eccentric, but you know.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I don't know. Don't know. It's hard to recommend, I guess, for thinking about it, because like I would, for a general audience, I don't know if I guess it could be. I don't know. Like this movie has a really high score, from what I remember, right? That was one of the main things. Like after hearing about it, I was like, oh, people like this. Memoir of a Snail, and it's got a pretty good like Rotten Tomatoes score, and audience and critics are up there. 85 for audience, 94 critic, so there is that consensus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie, Rap World, directed by Connor O'Malley. Starring
That's
and
a
written
very-
by Jack Bensinger,
and
Eric
there
Rahill,
you go,
and a
you
bunch
got
of other
a-
people.
You got another
Podcast
very
about list.
ordinary story, right? It's
It's a very
bunch of
ordinary story,
guys.
but luckily this one's about men, so it's awesome.
That's true, right? Yeah.
Woo. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, this is it's an interesting, is a really faithful recreation of that period, the late 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few years into before 2010. Very feels momentumless, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
It
Like-
feels stagnant. This
Yeah.
movie feels like it's about stagnation, you know.
Yeah.
Three completely unexceptional men who decide they're going to spend their evening making a rap album, and they spend about like 95% of it procrastinating and not doing that.
It's like they're talking about it as like this is the opportunity we were waiting for. Like this is like this is what was preventing us from doing it, not being able to have like a space for ourselves. You know, like that was like the entire thing is like one of the guy's mom is out of town getting a surgery to separate her ears
from her head.
head.
'Cause they're too close to her head.
Yeah, and therefore she's out of town. Therefore they can stay over and record this single, I guess, because it's not an album.
Yeah, they were gonna make an album called Rap World, and they ended up making one song about the town they live in called Tobihana.
Tobihana.
No place better, ready for whatever.
This is where the giants, you feel like the energy when you come here, you know, and you feel the electricity, you know. But it's like, yeah, exactly. I feel like a lot of people can kind of...
if you grew up in somewhere where there wasn't really anything happening,
yeah.
I think you could relate to this feeling of like, I don't know, I don't even know, just like killing time. Almost.
Killing time, that's a good one. Like
just feeling like so what you're doing is important, but is so completely irrelevant and not important at all.
Yeah, you move away from your routine, and immediately it becomes like this huge thing, you know, that like I'm doing this, like that's what I this is gonna be me, you know, this thing that I
when the plan becomes more important than actually doing the thing.
Yes,
you want to do.
exactly.
The idea of doing it is what's attractive to you and not the
Yeah.
actual doing of the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's but at the same time, it's like it's a short film. It's like 55 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's all like handheld camera footage of like
Yeah.
it pretty much entirely ad lib. I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
you know,
All digital, like just an old digital camera.
all
basically.
digital camera, which really carries it. It's interesting that if you really want to capture that vibe, if
Yeah.
you just film anything on like a digital camera from that era,
Yeah.
you would be like that pretty much carries like 85% of it.
Yeah,
the last 15% is just not mentioning anything after 2008.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the clothing they're wearing. They're kind of trying to. They do have like a wardrobe, right? That also you could associate with those times, you know.
Yeah,
and,
definitely. No, I mean, not to say that they didn't put the effort
No.
obviously.
I know, but it's just like it's so funny how easily you can still kind of move back in time to those times, you know. And like I think we're talking about it while it's like how culturally we haven't really moved that much, you know.
I don't feel like we have, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it sometimes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. So it's so easy to go back to those times, and
But,
it's interesting. Although it is like that aesthetic, it's still an aesthetic that you can capture.
Yeah, sure,
It's interesting how that's. What would you even call that? Like, you know.
I guess
yeah.
it's like just Obama era,
Yeah,
like
yeah, something
Midwest. I guess it's
Yeah.
like set in Pennsylvania, so
yeah.
like Obama
yeah.
era Midwest.
Yeah, and it's like you have and it's like cool thing about it's like the another cool thing about is like the ending where you know they want to record a real gunshot for their album.
they've had a gun
And-
the entire film that they've just been like playing with, and then
Literal
they decide
Chekhov's gun, yeah.
they're gonna record the gunshot. They end up shooting Connor O'Malley's character, but and as they're calling 911, you get like a cut to later on at his funeral because they shot him his artery and he just bled out.
Bled out in the forest, yeah.
Luckily,
And
his family dropped the charges against the other guy, Eric Ray Hill's character, and and then they just all continue on with their unremarkable lives.
And that's the cool thing about it is that the story doesn't like hinge on that, you know. Like it's you kind of know from the beginning that something is going to happen to that gun, like you know,
of course.
and but it's still you're still engaged in the entire kind of like normal life of these guys, you know. They're just kind of hanging out.
They go to like get some weed from Dan Licata. They go to a party with some people and get kicked out. They go and buy some food at like Walgreens or Walmart or whatever. And it's it's one of those things that it's like it's hard to recommend it because it's so strange. It's not like it's not conventional. But it was good. It's good, and you can watch it on YouTube for free. It's like 55 minutes, and it's funny if you like that kind of humor. If you like that kind of Connor O'Malley humor, a lot of like non sequiturs and stuff, and like stuff that is funny in the context, but not a joke or anything. You know, it's not like it's not like there's any real punchline. Sometimes it's just kind of like funny in the context of the film that they're making.
Yeah.
Then check it out. Check it out.
And listen to that to the single too.
Yeah. Rap World.
Yeah.
Tobiana.
But we got
fucking other bullshit.
we got made the other bullshit, which is Dear Santa. I don't know why we landed on that.
Just because we saw it and we're like, I think we were not going to hang out for much longer, so we were like, let's just watch it. And then
Because he said that we're in Christmas holidays, so might as well watch something Christmas movie.
We need something Christmassy.
Yes.
Watch Dear Santa, Jack Black, child dyslexia, write letter to Santa. Oop, he wrote Satan because of dyslexia. Satan, pick it up. Hi, I'm Satan. I give you 3 wishes. I'm Jack Black.
Yes, and do you want us to see Malone? What is he called?
Post Malone.
Post
The
Malone.
big Post Malone.
Wow, I'm a big Post Malone kid and
Kids
stuff.
love Post Malone. I don't want to talk about this movie.
Yeah,
really.
there
It was
isn't
just
much
bad.
to talk about.
We were going into it knowing it was bad as we just watched it.
The very baffling ending of this movie too, with committing a sin, honestly, at the end. Like, that's something you shouldn't do. Like, it's
Yeah, halfway through it's revealed that the main character had a younger brother who died,
yeah.
and that's why his parents are fighting a bunch.
It's strained. The relationship is strained.
It suddenly becomes really serious and dour.
Uh-huh.
Because they're like, yeah, I had a younger brother. He died. He fucking died somehow. He like drowned in a pond or something.
I think
right?
so, yeah.
He
I
fell
drowned him in a
and
pond.
died. So that's why everything's horrible in this kid's life.
I couldn't call 911 because of
yeah.
my dyslexia. You know.
I typed in 191.
No.
They didn't know. They didn't know what I was talking about. They didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Yeah. And
I tried typing in 911. I ended up typing in 911.
Ooh,
That was so stupid of me.
So dumb. They've been talking
dumb.
about it so much. You know, my parents, for some reason. But
So,
yeah,
but then at the end, he does his 3 wishes. He thought he's sold his soul to Jack
a
Black.
very important thing that they bring up is that you can't alter things that already happened, like in the past. You know.
Yeah. So he does his 3 wishes. He thinks he's sold his soul to Jack Black. Jack Black is not the real Satan. He's just a lower level devil.
Yes.
Demon, and the real devil, who's played by Ben Stiller, says you fucked up because the kid didn't even do evil wishes. He has to do evil wishes for us to get his soul.
Yeah.
So fuck it. So he goes back up and he says, actually, your last wish wasn't even true because your parents just did it. I didn't even do anything. They just got back together of their own accord. So you have one more wish. And I've taken the liberty of doing the thing that you wrote on the letter at the very beginning that the audience doesn't know about. And he goes, wow,
Yes.
you did? Really? And he's like, yep. And the kid wakes up in the morning. His dead little brother is back. He's like, he brought him back to life. So I guess he made a new little brother. He didn't stop the other one from dying.
Yeah, and altered the memory of the parents to accept this homunculus, right, of a brother that he has, you know?
This movie stinks. Max, tell me about the ending of The Keep.
What, specifically the ending of The Keep?
Oh, because I only saw 40 minutes of it.
Well, the ending of The Keep is
Tell me about the rest of The Keep then first, and then
The Keep is a movie about Nazis. Good Nazis
Michael Mann.
Good Nazis come, and they find the keep in the mountains of Romania. They're like, "Oh fuck, this is a key. This is weird." And then the locals are really weird. They're like, "Oh, don't stay in the keep." And the Nazis are like, "We're superior raced people."
They go. Yeah, the weird thing about the keep is that it looks like it was made inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was made to keep something inside.
Keep something inside. Yes. So weird things start happening. The evil Germans within the good Germans, they go like, there are these crosses that are like embedded in the walls of the keep, and they think they're made of silver. And of course, yeah. And they attempt to steal one. Turns out they open the keep.
Yeah.
And they release an ancient evil out of the keep. More Nazis come. The SS comes, actually, specifically. They are even more evil than the good Nazis. Mm-hmm. And then that, honestly, the entire Nazi plot doesn't really matter in the end. It just, I guess, it's kind of weird that no other, like, people came around, like even a gang of raiders, or like like it could have been any like thieves that could have done this for the centuries that the keep was around, but it just happened to be where it was Nazis, right? And and bullshit happens. The Nazis and Germans don't really matter, because on his way there's a Highlander type alien guy, I don't know, ancient guy comes back. He has sex.
Ancient man returns.
Oh yeah, there's Ian McKellen is in the movie. He's an old dude that the evil spirit gives youngness to. And he's like, I'll do things for you because you destroyed the Nazis for me, right?
Yeah.
That's his entire
You're
thing.
gonna help me kill the Nazis.
Kill the Nazis, and then the Highlanders are, don't do that. He will tell you whatever you want to hear, so you can release him from the keep, you know. And bullshit happens, and then the Highlander comes back and he kills the keep guy, and that's how it ends. There you go. There is nothing happens in this movie.
Max, I
There's-
have breaking news.
Yes.
They have a suspect for the alleged CEO shooting.
Oh, is it the keep creature?
It's
the Highlander?
It's Ian McKellen from the
Ian
Keep.
is from the keep.
He
Instead
got
of
given, he got
'cause-
given the powers by the Keep creature.
Yeah,
The
he
creep-
carry-
the
'cause, like,
Keepcher.
because the entire thing is that creep creature wants him to like take out this medallion out of the keep. And
Yeah,
then
he's
it
like,
can
you need
fun-
to carry my object out to
Yeah.
set me free, so I can
So you-
kill Hitler for you.
So what you're saying is that in our timeline, he actually carried it out, and he used he used the power of the keep creature to kill as the health insurance CEO, which is whatever. But
no,
yeah,
you're not, no judgment call on it.
no, neutral, perfectly
Neutrality.
neutral, neutrality.
That's
Unlike the
interesting.
Keep
Some would
creature.
say that neutrality is a bad thing to have about.
I know, but in this case, the keep creature is an evil entity. So, what does that mean? You know, you
What
could
does
answer.
that mean?
What does that mean in this case? You know, young Ian McKellen. That's what they don't realize. People don't realize that it's just young Ian McKellen.
It is just young Ian McKellen. Yeah, he starts out pretending to be old. Mm-hmm. They put makeup on him to look old, like old Ian McKellen, and he's
Yes.
putting on a weird old man voice. And
Yeah,
then he's
it's very-
made younger by the Keep creature, and they take the makeup off him, and he looks younger. He looks like middle aged.
Yeah. It was a pretty, like, the duel at the end was pretty, like, meh, too. Like, the creep creature just kind of, the Highlander guy, he brought in a stick that he had. And, you know,
Sure.
he had, like, the case that he carried with him. He brought the stick, and then he put the medallion on top of the stick. And then he shot the creep creature with a laser.
Keep
and
creep the
keep-
creep creature
creature.
creature creature.
Yes. And then and that's it. And
All right.
then
Well,
and it was
at
one of
least
the
the part
worst.
I vibed. At least the part I watched had strong vibes. Mm-hmm. It was kind of atmospheric. It was interesting. But it was boring.
yeah, it was
quite
boring.
boring.
The payoff was not worth it. And
It was like an early Michael Mann, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was Michael Mann until you said it was.
yeah,
But
I was very
I
surprised.
did. You do realize afterwards that it's like, yeah, I can see where this guy became Michael Mann
Yeah,
when he
you have
became the director, the preeminent Michael Mann, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the Keep Michael Mann.
everyone has beginnings somewhere in the
Everybody
keep.
is beginning somewhere. That's true.
But yeah, the synth, you have
Yep.
the very weird soundtrack of the movie, which is like droning synths that don't really fit the Nazis and also ancient creatures aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know,
Ancient Romanian spirit.
ancient Slav spirits or whatever. I think that's what it was.
I think
'cause,
they did use ancient Slav.
yeah, because Slavs are their most evil spirit.
No, they said Slav soul, didn't they?
Slav soul.
souls.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I think
And,
ancient
yeah.
Slav souls.
If you want to see where Michael Mann
If you want to
started,
see a young Ian McKellen, out
if you want to see old Ian McKellen, then young, and then old again because he turns back at the
how do
end.
you come old again?
Yeah. He denounces the creature at the end, telling him, if you're so powerful, why don't you carry the amulet outside the keep? And he throws it at him, where it just falls to the ground, and then the creep creature just zaps him, and he turns old again.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So
But those were our media. That's our catch up of the year. Those are the films we missed from the year.
Yeah.
Like The Keep.
The Keep,
Blue
yes.
Beetle. Films we missed from this year. And that'll do us for the year, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so, right? We're the only thing we're waiting for is Avatar 3, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for, nothing else.
I think after that, it'll be... Well, no, there'll be more Avatars.
Star Trek Section 31 movie. That's going to be coming out.
I'll probably maybe upload something over the next couple of weeks, just as like a little, I don't know, post something, keep it up a
Hold
bit.
you over. Ben is going to make a really cool Marvel, what are they called? Marvel Mayhem? What are they called? Marvel Madness? Marvel Overwatch?
Come on.
Marvel Team? Marvel Crash? Marvel...
So look forward to that
Madness,
in the next few weeks.
Gameplay where he gets to play of the game or something,
We'll
and
be
he
back
puts
in the
new
new
metal
year.
over it.
That'd be cool. We'll be back in the new year when stuff has settled down.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take this a little
rejuvenated.
relax, chill for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah. So look forward to that. And until then, have a lovely Christmas. Have a lovely New Year.
Yeah.
This is and you know what? Because this comes out on the day. Have a good Game Awards. We won't even get to talk about the Game Awards. That's crazy.
Oh, no.
Man. We love
Fuck,
talking
man.
about the Game Awards.
We had
The
all
winners,
those
the losers.
predictions, which was not Lukong. What did we say is gonna win Game of the Year?
Balatro.
Balatro, yeah. The Balatro's just gonna sweep
Maybe
everything.
that's what the upload will be about. Maybe I'll do a one-man Game Awards retrospective. I don't know. We'll work it. I'll work it out. Anyway, have a good New Year. Have a good Christmas. See you. Bye bye. Have a good.
Email
go to
your
the
wishes
YouTube,
to
go
us.
to YouTube. Email your wishes to ensigns@gmail.com or leave the comment on YouTube about your wishes. Like, subscribe. You can go to Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, all that stuff. I'm getting slower. That'll do. Goodbye.
I wish for this to never end.
I wish the Ensigns would disappear.
Oh.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.